Thanks for joining me today. My name is Amy and I'm really happy to be with you today. Ooh. Oh gosh, I've had a busy day. I've had to get my daughter ready for daycare, pack her bag, drive her to daycare, go to work, pick up my daughter, take her to swimming lessons, come home, make dinner, make an online shopping list because who's got time to get to the supermarket? I still need to iron the clothes for my hubby's work tomorrow and fill out some forms and pay the bills. It just never stops. I'm getting so stressed out. Ugh, I wish there was more time in the day.
I will exalt.
Exalt! They jump! They jump! You jump!
You, my God, and
my King.
Forever.
No, not yet.
I will praise
your
your name forever and ever. Jazz hands! Oh, where's it from?
Psalm
145 verse 1.
Hey Paul, you got any time after school to hang out today?
Yeah, we've not done it for ages. Let's do this, Chris.
Well, actually, I do only have 30 minutes, okay? So, is that
All right,
cool?
it's less than I was thinking, but I'll take your time. Yeah, great. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no worries.
Later that day.
But Chris, it's only been 20 minutes.
Oh, I know, but look. Time's up, man. I'm sorry. I really gotta go.
All right, then I'll
catch you tomorrow. Yeah.
See you
Yeah,
tomorrow.
no, catch you later.
The next day.
Hey Paul, you got a minute?
Chris, for you, I've got more than a minute. But you're gonna say to me, you've only got a minute. It's brilliant. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you gotta go now already.
Time.
All right.
time.
Okay. All right. See
Sorry,
you later.
man.
See you
Yeah,
later.
no, okay,
All right.
see ya.
Bye.
Later that night.
Paul! I am here!
Chris, you were meant to be here 2 hours ago.
Oh, no, sorry. Time got away from me, but I'm ready to eat!
Yes, and the chicken was ready 2 hours ago, and now it's cold, and I didn't think you were coming, so I threw it away.
Oh, yeah. Time has been getting away from me. Probably have been running a little ragged, bit short on time. Oh, I'm truly sorry, man.
And it's good to spend time together, right?
Yeah. No, I love spending time with you.
Just tell you what, why don't I take this away, and then maybe we can spend time without having to worry about time.
Yeah, actually, you know.
Because we like hanging
No,
out,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. But
Let's
yeah,
do
no,
that.
that makes sense.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
It is really easy to be driven by time and everything that needs to be done. Let's face it, life gets busy and there's all good reasons that we do things. Like it's important to go to school and learn, it's important to play sports and stay healthy and active. It's important to spend time with friends and develop relationships. But you know what else is important? Spending time with God. King David knew how important it was to spend time with God in his presence. King David is known as a great king, and there was a reason for this. King David was a man who consistently chose to meet with God over filling his days with fleeting and unsatisfying things of the world. He centered his life around meeting with God, and it changed the history of not only his nation, but nations to come. In Psalm 16 verse 11, David wrote, You make known to me the path of life, and in your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. In Psalm 84, verses 1 and 2, David wrote, "How lovely are your dwelling places, O Lord of hosts. My soul, my life, my inner self longs for and greatly desires the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh sing for joy to the living God." Psalm 62 verse 5 says, "For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is in him." David knew he needed to spend time in God's presence. It was important to him, and so he made time. He set aside time every day to dwell in God's presence. In God's presence, he found joy. In God's presence, he found hope. In God's presence, he found peace. And when we make time to spend in God's presence, you and I can experience that same joy, that same hope, that same peace that comes from God. When we spend time in worship, we take our eyes off all the things that needs to be done and all the things that can steal our joy or our hope and leave us anxious and depressed. And instead, we worship the God who is greater, the God who gives love freely, and the God who sent his Son so that we could live a life free from sin. So, how do we do that? Well, for me, I like to dwell in God's presence on my way home from work in the evenings. It's just me, God, some worship music I might blast on the car stereo. I take time to quiet my thoughts and focus only on God. I have to stop myself from making lists of everything that needs to be done or stressing about work or bills. Instead, I give it to God. I ask God to come and dwell. I ask God to guide me. I thank God for who he is and what he has done in my life. And I ask God to fill me with his love, his hope, his joy, and his peace. You might like to spend some time with God on the bus ride to school and listen to some music worship on your headphones. You might like to go and sit under a tree after school and spend time with God then. You could spend time with God before you go to bed at night. It's not important about where and when you spend time with God. What is important is that you make the time. You have to choose and be intentional, or life will take over and fill up all our time for us. I'm going to pray, and then if you're in church today, we're going to take some time to soak in God's presence. If you're at home today, why don't you choose a worship song and take some time now to spend in God's presence? Dear God, we thank you that you are a wonderful, loving God who longs to spend time with us. We thank you that in your presence there is fullness of joy, there is peace, there is hope, and that you guide us through life. We love you, Lord. Amen.